Babes, I'm going on a date with my new lover, she said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. I looked up from my whiskey glass, my fingers tightening around the rim. What nonsense is this? You're not going anywhere. She rolled her eyes and tossed her hair back like she was the queen of some damn castle. Oh, sorry, she said with a smirk, grabbing her clutch, but I promised him a wild night. My jaw clenched. Walk out that door, and our 14 years of marriage are over. She laughed. Actually laughed. Then I hope the next 14 are better for you. And she walked. In heels I bought her. In a dress I picked out. Wearing the perfume I gave her on our last anniversary. The door slammed behind her, and that moment, that single click of the lock was the moment I died inside. I sat there in silence, my ears ringing, my heart thudding like a war drum, and a sick realization wrapping around my chest like barbed wire. Madison, my wife, the girl I met at Tulane, the woman I built a life with, the mother of our golden retriever, Scout. She just casually announced she was screwing someone else like it was her Tuesday yoga class. She'd been different for months, sure. Colder, meaner, less patient. But I chalked it up to stress, hormones, whatever excuse you give the person you refuse to believe could ever hurt you like that. But this wasn't subtle anymore. This wasn't whispers or lipstick stains or late work calls. This was war. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I got up, finished my drink, and opened my laptop. By the time she got back, I'd have burned the whole damn kingdom we built to the ground. At 3 a.m., I was still awake. The room smelled like betrayal and bourbon. Her side of the bed was untouched, still cold. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the silence like it owed me an explanation. What killed me most was the look on her face before she left. Like she enjoyed it. Like she wanted me to snap. Was this some twisted power move? My thoughts spiraled. Who the hell was this guy? How long had it been going on? Did she bring him to her bed? I couldn't stop picturing it. Her giggling, moaning, whispering the same words she once whispered to me. Did she tell him he was the best? Did she lie to him too? I got up, walked to the closet, pulled down the fireproof lockbox. Inside, documents, account info, passwords. If she wanted a new man, she could have him. But not my money, not my house, not my name. By sunrise, the house was listed. I called my friend Justin, a real estate shark who owed me a favor. Told him it was urgent, all cash offers only. Then I logged into our bank account and moved every last cent into a new one with only my name on it. I left her with $0. Divorce papers? Printed and ready. My lawyer friend Taylor prepped them before he left for Cabo. All it needed was my signature. And hers. I scribbled my name across the dotted line like it was a death sentence, because in a way, it was the death of us. At 9:17 a.m., she walked in, heels in one hand, hangover in her eyes. She froze when she saw the box by the door. The empty closet. The echo in the hallway. What the hell is this? You remember last night, right? I said, sipping coffee like I hadn't just detonated our lives. You said you had a wild night ahead. So I made sure today would be even wilder for you. She glanced around, confused. Where's my stuff? Gone. Gone where? Storage. In your name. Good luck finding it. Also, I handed her the papers. You'll need to sign these. Her mouth opened. Closed. You're divorcing me? I tilted my head. You're surprised. You're being dramatic, Nick. It was just a date. No. Just a date is when you're single. Then I walked past her, down the hall, grabbed my go bag, and shut the door behind me. I left Scout at my sister's. I got in my car. I drove 3 states away. Vanished without a trace. But what Madison did next, that was something I never saw coming. 3 days. That's how long it took for her to blow up my phone. Missed calls. Messages. Voice notes. I didn't respond to a single one. I was holed up in a cabin in Tennessee. No neighbors, no distractions, just the cold, the silence, and the endless replay of her smirking face in my head. The first message was confusion. Nick, what the F*** is going on? Where are you? Call me. Then came the panic. I can't access our account. Did you mess with the bank? This isn't funny. Next rage. You petty piece of sh***. You think this is okay? You think you can just disappear? This is illegal, Nick. By day 2, she was trying a softer tone. Babe. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Can we just talk? That was the worst one. Hearing her call me babe after saying she was going on a date with another man. Like that word hadn't been hollowed out and filled with someone else's lies. I let her stew. The lawyer called. Madison hadn't signed the papers yet. Expected, Taylor said through a yawn. Girls like her don't lose gracefully. She thinks I'll come crawling back. She's gonna try to flip this on you, man. Be ready. I was. Or so I thought. On the fourth day, my sister Megan sent me a screenshot from Instagram. There she was, Madison, sitting at a rooftop bar with some guy who looked like he belonged in a boy band. Caption? Nothing like a real man to clean up after the mess. I stared at that photo for a solid minute. She was smiling, laughing, like I was the mistake. She hadn't even tried to hide it anymore. I almost shattered my phone against the cabin wall. Instead, I saved the picture. Evidence, just in case. And then I made a call to her mother. Now, let me tell you something about Madison's mom, Diane, woman sharp as a blade and twice as cold. But she always liked me. Called me the only sane man her daughter ever dated. When I told her what happened, there was a pause on the line. Then a long sigh. I knew something was off, Diane said. She's been distant for months. She said she promised him a wild night, Diane. Like she was proud of it. God help her. I'll talk to her. But Nick. I hate to say it, this isn't her first time crossing the line. The silence stretched. What do you mean? Diane hesitated. I think it started before the wedding. With her ex. The one before you. That hit harder than I expected. She cheated on me before we even got married? I didn't want to interfere back then, she admitted. I figured she'd change. I was wrong. I hung up, punched the wall so hard my knuckles split. It was never real. 14 years. A lie dressed up in white lace. The next morning, I got a knock on the cabin door. It was Madison. In tears. Mascara running. Hair a mess. Shivering in her designer jacket. You really disappeared, she said, barely above a whisper. You really cheated, I said back. She stepped inside without asking. I didn't stop her. I made a mistake, okay, she said. I got confused. We've been drifting, and I didn't know how to talk to you. I laughed. So your solution was to climb on top of some other dude? Don't be cruel. Don't be a liar. We stared at each other for what felt like hours. You emptied our account, she finally said. I built that account. You were busy buying Gucci belts and flirting with gym trainers. She blinked. You think this is easy for me? You think I care? She opened her mouth to speak. I stopped her. You have until Friday to sign the papers. After that, I go public. I've got pictures, messages, witnesses. I will bury you in court. Madison looked at me with something between hatred and regret. Fine, she said. You want to play dirty? I stepped forward. No, you did. I just stopped playing dumb. By Friday morning, she still hadn't signed. Instead, she posted a photo of herself in our old house, my house, sitting on the edge of the bed with our dog, Scout, in her lap. The caption? You can take the money, but you can't take my peace. Comments were filled with her girlfriends hyping her up, calling her strong, independent, and glowing after leaving a toxic man. A few even said she deserved better. Better than me. I nearly crushed my phone in my hand. She was rewriting history in real time. I didn't even recognize the woman in that photo anymore. Same face. Same green eyes I used to get lost in. But now, they just looked like empty glass, reflecting nothing. I called Taylor. She's going public, I said, painting me as the villain. She's baiting you, he warned. She wants you to blow up online, so she can use it in court. She's already got people believing I'm the one who cheated. You know what that means? I didn't answer. Taylor did. She's scared. By midday, I got an email. Subject line, divorce papers. It was from her. She'd signed them, but attached a note. Nick, if this is what you really want, fine. But don't act like you're the victim. You were never there for me emotionally. Maybe if you'd actually listened for once, things wouldn't have ended like this. Enjoy your new life. I hope you find someone who makes you feel like a man again. Madison. That last line. It was meant to sting. And it did. But not in the way she hoped. See, I wasn't broken anymore. I was done. What I felt now wasn't pain, it was clarity. This wasn't just about betrayal. It was about freedom. She had spent years gaslighting me, making me feel like I was never enough. Like her mood swings were my fault. Like her silence was some kind of punishment I earned by trying to make things work. That message? It was her final performance. And I was finally closing the curtain. That night, I went back to the house. Not to see her. I had called ahead to confirm she wasn't home. I just needed closure. The place felt unfamiliar. Like walking through someone else's memory. There were candles in the living room, wine glasses on the counter, her jacket thrown over the couch like nothing had changed. But everything had. I went upstairs to my old office, grabbed the last of my things, an old box of photos, my dad's watch, a bottle of scotch I'd been saving for a special occasion. Funny. This felt like the right time. As I turned to leave, I saw it. Her phone. Left on the kitchen island. Still unlocked. I shouldn't have looked. I really shouldn't have. But curiosity's a cursed thing. There were texts. To a contact named C. Madison. He actually believed I was crying. What a loser. C. LMAO. You're savage. Madison. I could have told him the sky was purple and he'd apologize for it. C. You coming tonight? Madison. Of course. Let's see what you're working with this time, Daddy. I nearly threw up. It wasn't just the affair. It was the mockery. The calculated cruelty. She planned everything. The tears. The words. The apology. It was all a goddamn act. I took a screenshot. Sent it to myself. Then I poured her fancy wine into the sink, snapped her champagne glasses in half, and left the bottle of scotch unopened. I wouldn't be celebrating here. I left the house, drove straight to the lawyer's office, and handed over the final piece of evidence. She's yours now, I told Taylor. Finish her. He nodded. Gladly. As I walked out, I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt reborn. But Madison? She wasn't done. Not yet. 2 days later, I got served. Not the divorce paperwork. I'd already handled that. No, this was something nastier. A restraining order. Filed by Madison. Claiming I'd threatened her. That I'd stormed into the house, destroyed property, and made violent remarks. She even added a little cherry on top. He's emotionally unstable and might harm me. I stared at the papers, my hands shaking not from fear, but from pure disbelief. That's how far she was willing to go. To flip the script. To make herself the victim in a story where she was holding the bloody knife. I called Taylor immediately. She's accusing me of violence, man. You got cameras at the house? Only the ring cam at the front. Does it show her giving you the key code? Clear as day. He exhaled. That's a start. We'll use it. She's trying to destroy your rep. She wants to make you look dangerous before the settlement hits. She's playing dirty. Taylor chuckled grimly. Nick, she's just getting started. My phone buzzed all night with calls from friends, old coworkers, even Megan. Nick, are you okay? She asked, clearly panicking. Did you really break stuff? Madison's telling people you flipped out, trashed the house, threatened her life. No, I said flatly. None of that happened. She left her wine glasses out. I tossed them. That's it. She told Heather that you had a knife. I had to sit down. She's building a narrative, I muttered. She wants to ruin me. It hit me like a gut punch. I wasn't just dealing with a cheating wife anymore. I was up against a calculating, vicious liar with no limits. This wasn't a heartbreak. This was AF *****ing war. And I had one rule in war. Never fire until you're sure your shot will drop the enemy. That week, I stayed quiet. I didn't reply to her accusations online. Didn't answer texts. I let her talk, let her spin her tales. The more she spoke, the sloppier she got. Madison loved attention, but she was reckless when she had too much of it. She started posting more pictures with the boy band-looking dude. Chase, I found out his name was. Personal trainer. Drives a leased Mustang. Still lives with his mom. In one of her Instagram stories, they were laughing, sipping cocktails on our patio. She captioned it, "Moving on is healing." Taylor forwarded the story to the judge. Let her dig her own grave, he told me. You don't need to push. She's going off script. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse. It did. I got a call from HR. Not mine, hers. Mr. Rhodes, the voice said, we were contacted regarding your wife's claims. We're conducting an internal review and would like your official statement. She told you what? I asked. She's claiming workplace harassment, emotional abuse, that you showed up at her office unannounced and made threats. I was stunned. Sir, I haven't stepped foot in that building in 5 years. She sent us messages. Screenshots. Fake ones. Clearly. And just like that, it hit me. This wasn't about winning. This was about erasing me. Ruining my name, my job, my reputation. She wanted to make me radioactive, untouchable. I realized I had two choices. Play defense and hope the storm passed, or fight back with every shred of truth I had. I chose the second. I handed Taylor the messages I'd found on her phone. We subpoenaed her call logs, requested security footage from her building, even contacted Chase's ex. Turns out he had receipts too. She'd been playing both of us. He thought she was divorced already. Thought I was the obsessed ex-husband. When he found out the truth, he was furious. She told me you hit her, he said, jaw clenched. She told me she was on a girls' trip the weekend she was with you in Miami. We shook hands that day. Enemies turned allies. Funny how betrayal makes the best glue. And as Madison's house of lies started collapsing, I prepared for the final blow. The court date came faster than I expected. I wore a dark suit, the same one I wore to my father's funeral. It felt fitting. This was, after all, the burial of something I once loved. Madison showed up 20 minutes late, acting like she owned the place. Wearing white, of all things. White. Like this was some romantic drama and she was the innocent bride left at the altar. She didn't look at me. Not once. She clung to Chase, who sat 2 rows behind her. I could tell by the stiffness in his jaw he wasn't there out of love anymore. He was trapped in a mess he didn't sign up for. When the judge asked if there was any additional evidence before the proceedings began, Taylor stood up. We'd like to present recovered phone messages from the defendant's device, along with witness testimony from Mr. Chase Harper and others. Madison's smirk died mid-blink. The screenshots were displayed on the monitor in front of the room. Every filthy, mocking text she'd sent. Her bragging about manipulation. Her laughing at my reaction. Her gleeful plan to bleed him dry. Her lawyer scrambled. She had no idea those would be shared publicly. She sent them willingly. Taylor cut in. There's nothing confidential here. Just cruelty. When Chase took the stand, it was like watching a man crawl out of quicksand. His voice shook, but he told the truth. She told me they were already divorced. She said he was violent, obsessive. She showed me messages, but now I know they were faked. I never saw Nick be anything but calm. This was all part of her game. The judge nodded, took notes. Then Madison was called to the stand. That was when the real unraveling began. Mrs. Rhodes, the judge said, folding her hands. You stated under oath that your husband threatened you, that he destroyed property, that he showed up at your workplace uninvited. Are you prepared to stand by that, knowing that false testimony under oath carries legal consequences? Madison swallowed. Yes, she said, but her voice cracked. Her confidence was fading. Taylor stood. Let's talk about the workplace incident. Do you recall the security footage we subpoenaed? I haven't seen it. Well, we have. It shows you entering and exiting alone. No sign of Mr. Rhodes. Ever. Madison's eyes flicked around the room. Taylor continued, and these messages you gave your employer, can you confirm they were not screenshots you created using a text simulator? I don't know what you're talking about. We found the app on your phone, Madison. We also found fake threads labeled Nick, threats in your gallery. Her lips quivered. The judge leaned forward. Mrs. Rhodes, are you aware that you're dangerously close to perjury? The room was ice cold. The silence was brutal. Then Madison snapped. I was scared, okay. He left. He disappeared and humiliated me. The judge raised an eyebrow. So you made it all up? I didn't know what else to do. There it was. The confession. Raw. Ugly. Loud enough for every person in the room to hear. I didn't gloat. I didn't smile. I just closed my eyes for a second and let myself breathe. That was the moment she lost everything. After court, I walked out without saying a word to her. She stood by the exit, mascara streaked down her cheeks, Chase already halfway to the parking lot. You ruined me, she whispered. I stopped. No, Madison. You did that all by yourself. She stepped forward like she was about to say something else, but I didn't wait. I left her standing there in that ridiculous white dress, the same way she walked out of our house weeks ago. But now, she was the one with nothing. And me? I had one thing left to do. And it was going to end this for good. 3 weeks after the court hearing, my life was unrecognizable. The restraining order? Dismissed. The defamation claims? Dropped. Madison? Silenced. The judge ruled in my favor across the board. I walked away with the house, my business untouched, and a legal warning issued to her for falsifying evidence. Her little empire of lies had gone up in flames, and she had no one to blame but herself. But justice didn't feel like victory. It felt hollow. Because while she lost, I didn't really win. I just survived. One afternoon, I returned to the house. This time for good. The furniture had been rearranged. She must have tried to scrub her scent into the place before she lost it. But you can't hide energy. That house still reeked of betrayal, of whispers and lies soaked into every cushion, every hallway. I walked to the bedroom and opened the closet. Empty now, except for one hanger, her red trench coat still hanging there. The same coat she wore the night she walked out for her wild date. I pulled it down, held it for a second, then tossed it in the trash outside. No dramatics. Just disposal. Like tossing out spoiled food. It didn't belong in my space anymore. Then I burned the sheets. Literally. Took them to the fire pit in the backyard and set them ablaze. Watched them curl and blacken until they were nothing but ash. I wasn't going to sleep in the same linen she once came home smelling like another man in. That night, I drank scotch on the back porch and just sat in silence. No TV. No phone. Just me, the stars, and the weight of what I'd finally let go of. But the peace didn't last. It started with messages from her friends. Not to apologize. No, they reached out to say I was cruel. That I humiliated her publicly and didn't need to destroy her. Apparently, Madison had started a new narrative, this time painting herself as the mentally unstable one, blaming everything on undiagnosed trauma and emotional breakdowns. She posted cryptic stories. When you're broken, they call you crazy. But all you ever needed was love. I ignored it. Until Megan called. She's saying you abused her now. That you manipulated her into signing everything over. I felt my throat go dry. She's doubling down. She's not going to stop, Nick. No, she wouldn't. Because the thing about women like Madison, they don't heal. They hunt. I needed a permanent fix. No more back and forth. No more threats. No more social media warfare. So I made one last move quietly. I hired a PR firm. Not to start a fight, but to close the book. Legally and professionally. They helped me issue a public statement through my business account, a neutral message that clarified everything. After recent personal events involving false accusations and character defamation, all matters have been resolved in court. I won't be commenting further. I wish everyone healing and peace moving forward. That was it. Cold. Clean. Final. It shut down the gossip. The narrative. The noise. She couldn't fight it, because it wasn't confrontational. It was surgical. Delivered like a eulogy. And just like that, she became a ghost. No more messages. No more subtweets. No more stories. She vanished, just like I did, weeks earlier. But the difference? I left to rebuild. She disappeared to hide. One night, I passed by a downtown bar and saw her through the window. Alone. Face buried in her phone. No makeup. Hair tied up. A shadow of the woman who once laughed in my face as she walked out the door. She looked like someone who didn't win. I stood there for a second. Didn't go in. Didn't wave. Just looked. Then turned and walked away. She was someone else's problem now. Mine had already been solved. It's strange, the way silence feels after chaos. At first, it's suffocating. Too quiet. Too still. Like the world paused and forgot to hit play again. For a while, I kept expecting another storm, another lie, another accusation, another stunt from Madison. But it never came. She was really gone. Or maybe she just finally run out of ways to hurt me. I should have felt peace. Instead, I felt nothing. The hardest part wasn't losing her. It was losing the version of myself that believed in her. The guy who once lit candles before she came home. Who planned weekend getaways. Who listened to her vent for hours and thought that was love. Who defended her every time someone raised a red flag. That man had died somewhere between her first betrayal and her last lie. In his place? A quieter man. Sharper. Harder. More aware. I didn't jump into healing. I didn't go on some revenge body gym spree or start dating just to feel something. I didn't blast sad songs or spend nights texting friends about how unfair it all was. I sat with it. All of it. The hurt. The shame. The anger. The humiliation. I let it settle like dust on old furniture, and then, bit by bit, I started cleaning. I closed accounts with her name still attached. I deleted our photos from the cloud. I donated every gift she ever gave me. And one night, I burned the wedding album in the same fire pit where I destroyed the sheets. It wasn't rage. It was release. Then something weird happened. I smiled. One morning, I opened my eyes and didn't feel the weight on my chest. I made breakfast and it tasted good. I played fetch with Scout and laughed. A real laugh. The kind that sneaks up on you before you remember you haven't laughed in months. Healing doesn't come all at once. It shows up in moments. In the quiet. In the ordinary. And eventually, those moments become your life. A few weeks later, Megan invited me to dinner with some friends. I almost said no. I was done pretending to be okay in front of strangers. But she insisted. There's someone I think you should meet, she said. Not like that. Just someone who's been through some **** too. That's how I met Brielle. She wasn't loud or flashy. She didn't try to impress me with stories or force fake laughter into the air. She just listened, asked good questions, talked about her dog, her art, her recent divorce. Yeah, divorce. Turns out she had her own version of Madison, except his name was Greg, and he cheated with her yoga instructor. We talked for 3 hours. Didn't even notice the rest of the group had moved to the patio. I didn't feel sparks. Didn't feel fireworks. But I felt safe. And that was more than I thought I'd ever feel again. Brielle and I didn't rush. We took our time. Some days we talked, some days we didn't. She never asked for more than I could give, and I never felt like I had to perform. We shared stories not to trauma bond, but to build trust. And one night, months later, as we sat on my back porch, sipping wine, she looked at me and said, "You don't look like a man who lost something. You look like a man who finally let go." I didn't answer right away, because I realized she was right. I hadn't lost. I'd survived. And maybe, just maybe, I was ready to start living again. You never think betrayal will come wearing the same perfume you once bought with love. You don't expect it to live in your home, sleep in your bed, whisper, "I love you," with lips that tasted someone else the night before. But it does. And when it happens, it doesn't tear you apart all at once. No. It slices slow, one lie at a time, until you're left staring at a mirror, wondering how you didn't see it coming. That was me. And now? This is me too. Whole. Changed. Scarred. But standing. Let me tell you what I learned. 1. You don't owe loyalty to someone who gambles with your trust. I wasted years defending Madison, making excuses for her coldness, her mood swings, her manipulative silences. I thought marriage meant riding through storms. But I was stuck in a hurricane she was creating. Every time I tried to fix things, she lit another match. Loyalty isn't about staying no matter what. It's about knowing when to walk away when someone's burning the bridge from the other side. 2. People show you who they are. Listen. I saw the signs. The secrecy. The smirks. The sudden coldness. But I didn't want to believe the woman I loved was capable of what she did. So I chose to believe the version of her I had in my head. Truth is, she showed me who she was long before she ever said the words, "I promised him a wild night." I just didn't want to listen. 3. Revenge isn't fire. It's silence. I could have screamed. Posted everything. Humiliated her in every way possible. But the most powerful thing I did was disappear. Take my dignity and vanish. Let her wonder. Let her talk to walls. That silence? It wasn't weakness. It was control. And when I finally spoke, in court, with facts, not fury, it crushed her louder than any shout ever could. 4. Healing isn't pretty. There's no montage. No magic moment where you wake up, healed. Some days I felt fine. Others I was back in the pit. Some nights I replayed her laugh as she walked out. Others, I felt numb. But healing isn't about pretending you're okay. It's about letting yourself not be okay. Until one day, you look up and realize the storm passed, and you're still standing. 5. Love isn't about staying. It's about choosing. Real love chooses respect. Real love chooses honesty, even when it's hard. Madison didn't cheat because I wasn't enough. She cheated because she wasn't capable of choosing love over impulse. I stopped blaming myself the moment I realized that. Her betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of her emptiness. If you're reading this and you're in that place I was, thinking you can fix it, thinking it's your fault, thinking staying makes you stronger, stop. Strength isn't staying. Strength is leaving when staying means losing yourself. You deserve someone who chooses you, even when no one's watching. Who speaks truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Who holds your heart like it's something sacred, not something to step over on their way out the door. As for me, I don't hate Madison. I don't need to. She has to live with herself. That's punishment enough. Me? I'm building again. Slowly. Brick by brick. Not just a life, but me. I still have the scars. Still have the memories. But they don't haunt me anymore. They remind me of how far I've come, of what I survived, of what I'll never settle for again. So here's my advice. If she laughs as she walks out the door, don't chase her. Close the door behind her and start your damn life. Because trust me, the comeback is always louder than the betrayal.